A simple but powerful question. Have you ever noticed that some people, even without certificates or formal education, still leave a strong impression through their thinking and confidence? And have you ever seen people with high education, multiple certificates, and strong qualifications, yet they still feel mentally limited? The truth is, intelligence is not defined by education or numbers. It's defined by the way you think and the way you understand the world. Modern psychology tells us that real intelligence comes from your thinking patterns, and over time, those thinking patterns turn into habits. The real problem is that some negative mental habits quietly limit your thinking, affect your decisions, and weaken the perception people have of you without you even realizing it. In this video, we're going to reveal 4 hidden mental traps that can unknowingly make you appear less intelligent, and it's important to be aware of them. Habit number 1 is overconfidence without real understanding. In psychology, there's a deeply studied phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which explains why limited knowledge often leads to excessive confidence. Simply put, when someone has only a little knowledge about a topic, they often believe they fully understand it, while in reality, they tend to overestimate their actual ability. Psychological research shows that deeper knowledge increases self-awareness. Experts who truly understand a subject usually become more aware of how much they still don't know, and they continuously evaluate their understanding based on evidence. As Albert Einstein said, wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. So what does that mean? Real wisdom is humble. If you speak with absolute certainty in every discussion and never leave room for doubt or new perspectives, you may actually be limiting your growth. High-level thinkers don't treat their opinions as permanent truths. They see them as evolving conclusions. They stay open to new data, new research, and better insights. They operate with this mindset. This is my current understanding based on available information, but if tomorrow I find stronger evidence or a better perspective, I'm willing to update my opinion. Because real intelligence isn't rigid, it's flexible. And growth only happens when you're not afraid to change your mind. Habit number 2 is emotional reaction over rational thinking. From a psychological perspective, the core difference between a strong mind and a weak mind lies in how it responds to criticism. A weak mind interprets criticism as a personal attack. A strong mind interprets criticism as information. Research in emotional intelligence, especially the work of psychologists like Daniel Goleman, shows that individuals who can effectively regulate their emotions tend to perform better in leadership, decision-making, and long-term success. When someone challenges your idea, if your immediate reaction is defensiveness, anger, or ego protection, your brain shifts into what neuroscientists call a threat response mode. In that state, the amygdala activates, stress hormones increase, and logical reasoning temporarily decreases. Simply put, emotional reaction shuts down rational thinking. And when your brain is in survival mode, it cannot operate at its highest analytical capacity. So what's the powerful strategy? Pause. Before responding, take 5 to 10 seconds of silence. Let your nervous system settle. Give your brain time to shift back into logic mode. Then respond with something confident and mature, like, "Interesting point. Let me think about that." That single sentence communicates emotional control. It signals intellectual confidence, and it shows maturity. Because truly intelligent people don't react instantly to criticism. They evaluate it first, then respond strategically. Habit number 3, cognitive rigidity, or closed mindset. Habit number 3 is one of the most dangerous mental patterns, cognitive rigidity, or closed mindset. In psychology, cognitive rigidity refers to the tendency to hold on to your beliefs, opinions, and assumptions even when presented with new or contradicting evidence. Simply put, it means gripping your opinions like they are absolute truths. Research by Carol Dweck introduced the concept of growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Her studies show how people perceive their abilities directly impacts learning, adaptability, and long-term success. There are two primary mindset patterns. People with a fixed mindset believe, I am who I am. Change is difficult or impossible. People with a growth mindset believe, I am currently at this level, but I can improve through effort and new learning. Neuroscience also supports this idea. The brain has a property called neuroplasticity, meaning it can reorganize and adapt based on experience and learning. That means your intelligence is not static, it evolves. Intellectual flexibility is actually a strong indicator of high cognitive ability. If you refuse to challenge your beliefs, if you avoid perspectives that contradict your thinking, if you shut down alternative viewpoints immediately, you create mental stagnation. Growth stops where curiosity stops. Here's a powerful distinction. Smart people debate ideas. Wise people update their beliefs when evidence demands it. Because true intelligence is not about defending your opinion, it's about refining it. Habit number 4, intellectual laziness. We live in an era of information overload. Google, YouTube, social media, artificial intelligence, information is available within seconds. But here's the critical misunderstanding. Information access does not equal intelligence. Knowledge only becomes power when you deeply understand it and apply it in real life. Author and historian Yuval Noah Harari once said, "Knowledge that does not change behavior is useless." This statement highlights a key psychological principle. Learning without behavioral change has minimal cognitive impact. Many people consume content daily. They read articles, they watch educational videos, they share quotes, but they rarely change their thinking patterns or decision-making behavior. That's surface-level learning. Surface learning creates temporary motivation. Deep learning creates permanent transformation. From a cognitive science perspective, deep understanding requires active engagement, questioning, applying, testing, and reflecting on information. If you constantly look for shortcut answers, if you avoid complex topics because they require effort, you are not training your brain, you are conditioning it to stay comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of intellectual growth. Let's clarify something important. These habits do not mean that if you relate to one of them, you are low intelligence. Not at all. They are signals, indicators that your brain may be operating on automatic patterns instead of conscious awareness. Awareness is the first step toward improvement. And scientifically speaking, individuals who recognize their cognitive limitations already demonstrate higher self-awareness than average, because growth begins when you acknowledge there is room to grow. If you want to improve your mental sharpness, you need deliberate practice, not random motivation. Train your thinking intentionally. Weekly, challenge your own opinion in at least one discussion. Don't defend automatically. Understand opposing views. When corrected, ask questions instead of becoming defensive. Growth happens through curiosity, not ego. Monthly, read at least one book that challenges your belief system, like Thinking Fast and Slow, Atomic Habits, or Mindset. Daily question, where could my assumptions be wrong today? Intelligence is not fixed. The brain adapts through neuroplasticity. Think of it like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it weakens. The smartest person isn't the loudest, it's the one who observes, questions, and updates their thinking. Remember, growth requires humility. Being smart is a choice. Staying average is also a choice. Stay focused, stay humble.